I'm here with co-founder and medical director of LifeWorks Wellness Centers, Dr. David Minkoff. This clinic that you have over here is no secret. It is world-renowned. Why don't you tell me about it?
Thanks, Shelley. Yeah, we just try to help people. And I think sometimes medicine gets too narrowed, like the doctor has 5 or 6 minutes with the patient. He's got to make a diagnosis. He usually is going to write something to try to help that patient. But often it's a very non-in-depth look at what's really wrong, except if it's a simple problem. So someone gets a cut and they need stitches. Someone breaks their leg, easy, okay? Someone has nausea, vomiting, and you give them something to help them with the nausea, vomiting, and they got food poisoning or gastroenteritis, and you can do it fast. A lot of the problems that we see today are people who have chronic problems. They have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, they have chronic heart disease, they have fatigue, they have Lyme disease, they have Parkinson's, they have chronic arthritis. These aren't simple problems. It isn't a one thing did it.
Right.
And so I think that it takes more time. You have to spend time with that patient. You have to know that patient. I spend between an hour to an hour and a half with a new patient, because with a very long, like 15-page history form filled out first, because I have to get an understanding of what is actually causing this, and it usually isn't just one simple thing that's going to be, oh yeah, here's some amoxicillin and you're going to be fine.
Sure. So with all the things that you guys treat over there, let's talk about that chronic fatigue syndrome. What exactly is it? It seems like everybody you talk to these days, everyone's feeling tired, overwhelmed, groggy, sleepy, constantly looking for a Starbucks or any other energy drink that they can find.
Right.
What is it exactly, and how do you begin to treat it?
Well, chronic fatigue syndrome really is just a great big wastebasket. A person has symptoms, like you mentioned, and so there is a diagnostic code that can be written down. But really, if you look at it, it isn't just one or two things. So when we look at a patient, or when I look at a patient who's got chronic fatigue, I want to find out what is going on that their body is not able to make energy when in the past it could, because they weren't always fatigued. Is it some kind of infection? Is it infection plus toxin? Is it poor nutrition? Is it lack of some vitamin or mineral or group of vitamins or minerals or amino acids that has got their body in this state that it can't produce energy? Within each cell in our body, there's a little factory in there called a mitochondria, and this thing produces energy. In an average cell, there's between 1,000 and 2,000 of them. If the thyroid level in the body's low, these guys aren't going to make energy. If they're missing magnesium or selenium, they're not going to make energy, okay? If they're infected with a chronic virus, herpes 1, herpes 2, Epstein-Barr, herpes 6, if they have Lyme, if they have some other kind of thing and it affects the mitochondria in the cells, they're not going to make energy, and that results in fatigue or in brain fog or in slow liver detoxification or these other things. So unless we can pinpoint what those things are, and then give a treatment specifically for that, and usually people have 4, 5, 6 things, sometimes it's dental, then we can unwind this thing and they can get better.
Wow, so that seems like a great big puzzle to try and piece together. How do you begin to even find out what the root cause is?
Well, I spend time with them to get their history. I do a very detailed physical examination. I do a second kind of examination, which actually I can tap into the part of the operating system of their body. It's part of the nervous system that runs everything. You know, our bodies are made up of individual cells. Each cell has about 2,000 times per second amount of reactions that's going on inside. Wow. The body has about 100 trillion of those in one place. Somehow, in the size of your head and probably your spinal cord, this thing gets all managed. Nobody understands or has any idea how this even works. But we have a way that we can examine someone and tap into that and find out what are the big stressors, so that then if we can alleviate them of those stressors, those infections and those toxins, that then the nervous system can kind of function better. It's kind of like a virus in a computer. The virus is giving the computer wrong instructions or blocking communication. So you go to push send and it goes around and around and around. And then you get someone who's got the right kind of software that can go in and get that, and it can pull that virus and quarantine it or get rid of it, and now the thing works again. And that is what's wrong with the body. It's got stuff in it that are blocking the communication and regulation of all these cells. And if you can alleviate that, you can get the person better.
Wow. Dr. David Minkoff, you are a wealth of information. We could talk to you for hours and hours. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of time. So real quick, what would you like to leave our viewers with?
I think if you're sick, if you've been given a diagnosis and the treatment's not really making you better, and what gets resorted to is that you're depressed, here, take this Prozac, or here, take amphetamines because you're tired, it is not the solution, and there is one. And about 85% of the time we get it right, so that we can find out what is it that's causing the problem, we can debug it, and then the person will regain their health and be able to function in life like they want to.